Hi, welcome to AnimeCons TV. I'm Patrick Delahanty. This episode, we're talking about your first anime convention. In last week's episode, we showed a clip of us talking about our first experience at our first anime convention. And so this time, we're going to help you have a good experience at your first anime convention. Now, when you've decided to go to a con, you've probably got a bunch of friends who are saying, oh, let's go to this convention. Maybe they've got experience going to conventions before. Or maybe you're going out on your own and you're trying to convince other friends to go with you. Now, conventions are always a lot more fun with friends. So if there's other friends that want to go with you, by all means, go with them, because it's great as a group experience. But if you're going off alone, you're going to make a lot of new friends, especially at smaller conventions. For some reason, I've noticed smaller conventions, I tend to make more friends than I do at the larger conventions. Maybe that's because I end up seeing the same people over and over instead of just a big mass of people. But anyway, they're both fun for different reasons. Now, pre-con, before the convention, there's some things that you'll want to take care of. Obviously, travel. If this is not a local convention, if it's not just down the street, you're going to need to make some travel arrangements. So if you're flying out to the convention, you're going to need to reserve a plane ticket. If you're driving, you'll have to, make sure you have a car to get there, and then look up where you can park once you're there. Does the hotel have parking? If you're staying at a hotel, does the convention center have parking? Even if it's just a day trip, you want to know, where am I going to put the car? If you're taking the train, check the train schedules, or the bus. That's always an option too. Whether it's a city bus or, a Greyhound bus going a long distance, or even subway. Now, you also need to have a hotel room if you're staying overnight, and if it's far enough away that you can't drive back and forth every night. You can, of course, stay in the hotel room yourself. There is a minimum age that a lot of hotels will have for you to be able to reserve a room, so definitely check with the hotel and see what their minimum age is. You may have to bring a parent or guardian. And also, hotels aren't cheap, so a lot of people will split them with their friends. I've heard stories of people packing it in like sardines, where they have 10 or 12 people in a room. That's crazy. Don't do that. You're not going to have a great night's sleep. You're not going to enjoy the convention as much as you would if you were only like 4 to a room. It's much more comfortable, and we did an episode a while back where we priced out the difference, and once you get past 4 people, you're not saving that much more for every person you add on, so it's really not worth the hassle. So, stick with 4. That's usually what the hotels have as their maximum anyway, so play it safe. But if you're splitting with somebody, and if you've got the reservation in your room under your name, get the money up front. Don't wait until the convention's over and then say, oh, hey, I need that $100 from you for the hotel. They might not have it anymore. Get it up front, and don't give them their key until they can give you the money. If they came to the convention without the money for the hotel, well, hopefully you worked that out ahead of time so that they know what they'll owe, but get that money up front. And there've been a couple times where I haven't gotten the money till later, and it's aggravating having to chase people down, because a lot of the time they don't willingly come forward with the money. So make sure you're going to let them know that you want the money up front before you give them a hotel key. And if you're sharing a room with somebody else and it's on their credit card, give them the money up front. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Or even if it's, work out the taxes and everything after, but give them the chunk up front. And then you won't get stuck where you've spent the money in the dealer's room and have nothing left. You've already spent that money on the hotel. Anyway, another thing you want to do before the convention is get your tickets or your membership or your registration, whatever the convention calls it. A lot of the nonprofit ones, which is a lot of the anime conventions, they'll refer to it as a membership, and you may have to register. It's taxes. Basically, there's a way to do nonprofit where people can buy a membership to the organization, and that's why they refer to it as membership. Other conventions, usually the for-profit ones, will just sell tickets, and either way, you're probably getting a badge that you hang on a lanyard around your neck, and you want that with you all weekend. It's like money. Don't lose it. But when you register or buy the ticket, whatever they call it, when you're doing that, earlier is better. So as soon as you know you're going to this convention, buy your ticket, because with most conventions, especially anime, not so much in the sci-fi or comic ones, the price will go up as it gets closer to the convention. So the earlier you can commit, the cheaper it is. And a lot of the time, when you've paid in advance, the line at the convention is shorter. So you can get your badge and get going, while everybody who's waiting to pay at the door, I mean, think of it, they got to get their wallet out, they've got to get all their money, and it's a slow process, counting out whatever, but you've already paid, so you just go up, here's my ID, here's whatever other proof I need, and they hand you the badge. Done. So pay in advance. Especially, there's some conventions that will sell out. PAX, Penny Arcade Expo, is notorious for this. BlizzCon sells out in seconds. So if you don't have a ticket, sorry. But other conventions like Dragon Con, they'll just pack it in until it's way too crowded. So, and also before the convention, you want to check on the convention schedule. Most of the conventions I've seen don't actually post the schedule until shortly before the convention. So if you're still 6 months out, don't worry about it if they don't have their list of panels and events listed on the site yet. They may be able to tell you, oh, we're going to have a costume contest, we'll have a dealer's room, you know, some idea of what's going on at the convention, but they may not have their actual daily schedule ready. Usually that's not ready until like the week of the convention, but take a look at it when it's posted online. If they support the guidebook app, download that app to your Android or iPhone and get the convention schedule through that app. It's very handy. You don't have to carry around a program guide with you. And refer to that, and you can mark off the ones you want. And if you're going to cosplay, if it's your first convention, don't feel the need to cosplay. Just go get a lay of the land, see how it is, and it'll give you an idea of what people are doing for costumes. And then the next time you go, if cosplay is something you want to do, you can always do it. But yeah, don't worry about it too much this first year. If you're not in a costume, it's fine. It may seem like everybody's in costume, but when you look around, maybe not even half. It depends on the convention. Some are cosplay heavy, others are very light. And so you certainly won't be the only one not in costume, that's for sure. But bring a camera, because you're going to want to take pictures of some of the awesome costumes you're going to see. Now, once you've gotten to the convention, if this is a multi-day convention and you're staying overnight, it's great to get there a day early, because that lets you settle in, check into the hotel, and get everything taken care of before the madness starts on Friday morning. At least most conventions start Friday morning. Some start Friday evening or afternoon. So again, check with the schedule. It'll give you a good idea of when to arrive. But as soon as you arrive, check into the hotel, get everything settled there, and go get your badge. The line may be long to get your badge, especially if it's Friday morning when the convention's opening. And so a lot of conventions, if you've pre-registered, you can get the badge the night before. And so it's very handy to get there Thursday night, pick up your badge, and then you're all set. You can go to the convention first thing Friday morning, and you don't have to wait in line with everybody else that's just showing up. Let's see. Now, what you can do at the convention? Oh, there's so much to do. You can look over the schedule and see all the stuff they get planned, but typically what a convention will have, there'll be probably some sort of opening ceremonies where they welcome everybody. Not every convention has all of these, but this is just a general idea of what I've seen at a lot of cons. So they'll start with an opening ceremonies, and then there'll be a selection of panel rooms, and the panels are where people who are, I guess, experts in a topic can talk about that topic. And so you'll see panels, maybe a panel discussion about a show, maybe something like, oh, talk about Miyazaki movies, or panel on Gundam, or podcasting, or the history of the penny. Who knows? There's all sorts of crazy topics that people come up with. But read the description, because not all the time the title of the panel isn't always accurate to what you think it might be about. There's also workshops. In the workshops, there's like panels, but it's actually, you get the chance to make something. So maybe it's making a plushie or learn to draw. And sometimes workshops have additional fees, especially if you're making something you get to take with you, whether it's buying some art supplies and you get to take home a nice picture that you painted, or you're making a plushie, you're gonna have to pay for those materials. It's usually just a couple bucks. Let's see, there's also video rooms. So if you're at a sci-fi con, they're gonna be showing like Firefly, Doctor Who, or who knows. AnimeCon, they're showing anime, of course. And it's usually the stuff that you can see on Crunchyroll, or, you know, if you go on Netflix or buy some DVDs or Blu-rays, it's gonna be pretty much all licensed stuff. And so if you have access to that at home, you might want to stay away from the video rooms and save that at home and go to some convention stuff at the convention, because you don't want to go to the convention and spend all day watching videos that you could have watched at home on Crunchyroll. So at least that's my thought on it. But sometimes the video rooms will have an AMV contest. AMV is anime music video. Other conventions, not anime conventions, they may call it like a FMV, fan music video, or they may have some other name for it. But basically, people take footage from a show and set it to music, and there's some really good ones out there. You can find a lot of them on YouTube. Just search for AMV. Let's see, there's also gaming. So conventions usually have a video game room of some sort. They may have a gaming room with card games. And this varies greatly from convention to convention. It depends on how much gaming programming they have going on. Guests. Most conventions also have guests of some kind. They may be voice actors. You may get artists from Japan. You may get local cosplayers. It's a wide variety of guests for a wide variety of conventions. And the guests will usually do some panels. They may have a table where they're set up. And they may even have autograph signings scheduled. So if you want an autograph from your favorite voice actor or favorite actor in a show, this is your chance. And so go ahead and bring a DVD that the actor has been in, and they'll sign it. Now, the anime voice actors, usually their autographs are free. But if you're talking like William Shatner, Edward James Olmos, or anybody from Star Trek, there'll be a fee associated with the autograph. And the fee depends on how big of a star they are, I guess. So if you're going to get Patrick Stewart's autograph, it's going to cost you more than if you're going to get like, well, great, now I'm going to name somebody that's going to seem like they're tiny, but some extra from some Star Trek episode. They're not going to charge as much as some captain of a starship. Let's see, we've also got the Artist's Alley and an art show. The Artist's Alley is a place where artists can go to sell their art and their original creations that they've produced themselves. And so there's some great original stuff there. There's a lot of fan art from different shows. And so definitely take a walk through that and check out the artwork. Please don't take pictures of it unless you get permission from the artist there at the table. But yeah, definitely enjoy the art. And there's also, some conventions have an art show where they showcase like the masterpiece and some really high quality original pieces, and you might be able to bid on those and maybe take some home. There's also the dealer's room, and that is also known as the vendor's room. That's where all the vendors and their dealers will come and sell their merchandise. There may be toys, DVDs, books, plushies. Basically, if it exists, they'll sell it. And the prices you find at the convention can vary wildly. So compare between the dealers' booths, because one may have it at a low price, one may have it at a high price, and even keep in mind what it costs out in the real world, because you may be able to get whatever you want a lot cheaper online. So don't assume that the convention is the cheapest price. And for that reason, don't line up for the dealer's room. I always see a lot of people lined up to get into the dealer's room. It makes no sense to me, because the line is huge, and after the dealer's room opens, everybody goes in there, and then there's no line, usually for the rest of the convention. So never line up to get in the dealer's room. Wait until the line's died down, and then go. It's not like you're going to miss out on some exclusive merchandise. It's going to be the same stuff. So there's plenty for everyone. Wait until the line's gone. Speaking of lines, definitely be prepared for lines because you're going to get some. Whether it's waiting to get into a panel or waiting for opening ceremonies, maybe there's a concert, you want to wait in line for that. There's going to be lines. Even to get your badge, a lot of conventions have lines. And hopefully you don't have to wait too long, but you should be prepared and, have your phone with some games, have a Game Boy, have some snacks on you maybe. I don't know. But there'll be lines, so expect that. Let's see. Conventions may also have a dance. So if you've missed your high school prom, this is your chance to re-experience it with a bunch of geeks and nerds just like you. They'll bring in a DJ, turn the lights down, and have light shows going while they blast music, and gets really hot and really stinky. So definitely, please take a shower. Please shower. And if everybody showers, maybe it won't be so stinky, but I know I'm kidding myself. It's ugh. But if you really want the dance, a lot of conventions will have them. And there's plenty of other stuff to do at the convention, even if you're just wandering the halls. Just wander through the halls, look at all the cosplay, soak it in, and enjoy it, because it's a lot of fun. So once the convention's over, you're going to probably get post-con depression, sad that it's over, miss all your friends. But take those photos that you took at the convention, post them up on Facebook, and tag your friends in it, let them all see, and sort through all the business cards you picked up from cosplayers you took their picture, or you can just unpack your bags, which I still haven't done from Dragon Con. And look for your next con. Head over to fancons.com or animecons.com and look for what convention you're going to next. You may want to return to this one next year, or maybe there's one that's even closer, or maybe it's this one next week. Who knows? So check out the schedule and see what's coming up. And also decide what to do with your badge. Are you going to keep it, make a collection, or just toss it? You don't need it again. But I would recommend, if it has a lanyard, keep the lanyard, and your next convention, bring the lanyard with you, because some conventions don't give you a lanyard. So if you show up with one, then you're ahead of the game, and you can put that con badge on a lanyard, and you won't have to pin it to you or clip it to your belt or whatever. Anyway, so I hope that these tips for attending your first convention have been helpful, and definitely check out the archives for AnimeCons TV at animecons.tv. We've done episodes on finding a convention, packing for a convention, travel to a convention, all sorts of stuff, even like day tripping to a con. And so there's a lot of great tips in our podcast. So check our feed, check our website, check our YouTube channel, and hopefully a lot of these episodes will help you. And I hope you enjoy your time at your first convention. And we would love to hear how it went. Or if you think we've missed some tips, give us a call. Our voicemail line is 762-ADEQUATE. That's 762-233-7828. Or you can leave us an email at podcast@animecons.tv. Thanks for watching.